3, 2, 1, and welcome back to the IWAR Network Tubecast. This is part 2, guys. Part 2. Make sure you go back and listen to part 1, the award show. So, guys, this will be the January 2021 cycle in review. And with us this evening, we have BRL, NWL, and IWAR Commissioner Matt Riley. We have IWL Contributor of the Year, by the way, Luke Martin, and our special guest, IWL founder, Ryan Patrick.
Boo.
What's going on tonight, gentlemen?
Nice. That's not nice, Alex. Don't boo him.
After years of being treated like a porta potty at a truck stop or construction site, finally here to defend myself.
That's right.
I once hooked up with a girl in a porta potty at the Bordy Barn, which is a large outdoor event on Long Island. So,
and my cousin is still pissed you never called her back.
That's true.
Oh.
My finger still smells the same way, though.
Oh, my God. That's...
It's underneath the nail.
Congratulations, you have syphilis. Welcome to the family.
Oh, no.
It's not the first time, buddy.
Oh.
And guys, since we have Mr. Patrick on the call this evening, we're going to start off with the IWL Independent Wrestling League number 133. League champion Apollo's Destroyer Payne, television champion Butcher Lee Mitchell, a.k.a. BLM, New York City champion Enric Philamonte, Los Angeles champion Temujin the Terror, Boston champion Debo, Detroit champion Box, Cleveland champion The Black Superstar Bobby Bedlam, Dallas champion Chase Grace, Memphis champion Bulk Brogan, Miami champion The Main Event Dylan Matthews, San Francisco champion Primetime Alex Styles, Chicago champion Barry, Taken E. Stevens, League Tag Team champions Keyshawn Anderson and Deshaun Anderson, TV Tag Team champions Thing 2 and Thing 1, League Six-Man champion The Magnificent Marvin Moyer, Pop Culture Peter Cross, and Bill Bonecutter, and your TV Six-Man champions Anzo, Thing 2 and Thing 1, and your Battle Royal winner, winning 50 free IWL matches, is Chase Grace. So, Alex G, what's going down in the IWL? Well, guys, we're coming off our latest pay-per-view. Starcade's the biggest pay-per-view of the year. I suggest everyone put this on pause and go read it because it's dope. And a special shout-out to the people who submitted matches for us. So thank you, Brian, Jeremy, and Luke. You guys did a fantastic job with the match write-ups. Is probably the greatest pay-per-view in the history of pay-per-views. But following that up, we do have Soul Survivor. Now, Soul Survivor will be cycle 136. And guys, don't forget that Soul Survivor is a paid event. So for every wrestler, you're going to give me $1. 100% of the proceeds will go to the prize, so it will be a credit prize. So obviously, if 30 wrestlers enter, there will be a $30 prize for this event. So $1 to enter per wrestler. So please keep that in mind. Thank you. So Luke, what do you have for us in terms of TT this cycle? Any worthwhile? Anything good?
Well,
any advertisements for Astroglide?
I mean, yeah, that's an important one. Keep that around. Senior Lucha's back. If you want to read whatever trash that asshole has to say. So, just FYI. Yeah, I don't like that guy. Nobody likes that guy. All right, Chameleon. First of all, he is still the Grand Prix champion. So he kind of talks about the Teamster who may or may not be suffering from early onset dementia. But he tried to tag with him, and as you'll find out, Teamster sucks. So just read in about what he did, but also he's coming up and ready to defend Apollos Payne. This will be the second time that Apollos Payne has challenged for the Pan American title. So let's see if he can finally conquer it, but he's definitely going to have to come up against the Chameleon.
Did you know that the Teamster owns a bicycle shop?
No, I did not.
He does. Keep that in mind.
I don't even want to know what that means. But all right. And we have Alex J. Styles. He's talking about what he did over the year and talking about his life-changing decision to join Revolution Extreme and all that it's done for him. So
It's true. It's true.
also Magnum TL, he's got a new look. So he's looking good. Just check that out. Let's see. Oh, and then X3M, she continues to do well. She defeated Tiamat in their match, their pay-per-view match, so she got some revenge, but it's good stuff. She's one of the few female wrestlers in the league, and she's going to be challenging for the women's championship here. Is that right? Or she's the number one contender, yeah. So she's gonna. Is Gina Colada still the champion?
Yes, she is.
Well, trash. But and then also Empire is back, which Ryan knows all about. But they may or may not have destroyed and otherwise completely ruined Neo Dragon and Samantha Solis food and or pretty much everything. Their room. So not only if you read the results,
Fight for everything.
is that Samantha Solis' life is pretty much ruined. So the Empire was there to just add the cherry to the top of her pie of suffering. So
When it comes to Samantha Soley, there's nothing that's cherry.
What kind of pie is it?
You know. Or cream pie, if you want to be a dick about it. Kutan pie, perhaps. All right, fantastic. Mr. Patrick, what are your thoughts on this cycle in the IWL?
Oh man, the two I kind of liked. I liked the styles. I liked how he kind of like told the story of why, or reiterated the story of why he got into Revolution Extreme. And then I like Neo's rant. I like the way that was handled. Made me laugh a little bit. So kudos to those two as far as the TT goes. I kind of just wanted to look at like 2020 and just a little bit for just some people that kind of, I've never done this one, so just people that kind of impressed me. Like the Joe Boring thing was massive.
Huge.
But Bill Bonecutter just gets overlooked in this. The points, at least in the standings I have, he could have been the wrestler of the year 5 of the last 6 years. Like if it wasn't for the last cycle coming down the stretch for Boring. So he was great this year. Velociraptor, Neo, I thought was one of my favorite characters of the year. Then Atari as well. I thought that top 5 I'll take against any top 5 from any of the years I've been in here. Honestly, it was just outstanding work from all of them. And then 6-man wise, it's Pigeon Boy, Quail Man, and Cyclops. As someone who loves winning 6-man titles, they really pissed me off because those things were just locked up the whole year. Like I
Wasn't
think
it like 12 out of 17 they won or some shit like that? It was insane.
They had 3 times the amount of points as my guys did. I had a solid year, and it just got smoked. It was what they did from a 6-man. However they did it was just totally impressive. So those are some of the names I want to throw out there for the year that I thought had just really great 2020s.
I also want to follow Ryan there. So, obviously it isn't real wrestling, but, you have people that are kind of float up at the top, but then you also have people that kind of are always challenging. So, Ryan is here, so we should probably talk about how the Regulators literally were always in the mix for some sort of commissioner title or something they're always in the mix. And then you had Omega Squadron, especially Chameleon and Patriot. Those people carried the league because they're the ones that are starting the feuds and entering the contests and doing those things that push everybody forward. Especially when you get locked into a title, you're only as good as your competition. And so it's nice to have Ryan and Omega Squadron and people like that are always there to their team, and they're keeping it competitive and fun. Because the bad thing you don't want to run into is, we don't want to always have the same people that aren't ever threats challenge for things. So it's nice to have people that are consistently doing well, but you always know that when that person comes up, it's a threat. So it validates the character. Like it meant more for Neo Dragon to be one of the regulators to go then face the champion that was Ali Atari, just to the whole story that we told this year, which I guess wasn't intentional, but it makes everything look that much more difficult. And also it adds more fuel to the fire because obviously the regulators and the Revolution Extreme didn't or will not ever get along, right? So it's nice that we have people that are consistently putting in and we're all benefiting from it. So, we had some people like Joe Boring who like did like the unthinkable, right? In one cycle, and Velociraptor who did a lot, and same with Bill Bonecutter. And those guys definitely dominated the points, but some of the people underneath kept the narrative driving forward. So I think, like Ryan said, like we had a really good year this year in the IWL, and I think a lot of people, I think pretty much everybody contributed. We don't always talk about everybody on the roster, but everybody that TTs usually helps move everything forward. I think that's what makes it fun for everybody because, like I said, you can get really dull really fast if you just have the same people doing the same stuff all the time. So, I mean, the IWL is crazy because Joe Boring won literally every title except for the IWL championship. And that's only because he would lose in like the last round or the second round to like
They did the
Velociraptor.
finals, yeah, and then we had to go twice.
Right.
'Cause they
I
drew.
mean, it's a lot of craziness, but it definitely made the league very exciting. And I hope that everybody enjoyed all of that stuff because it's just it can get boring if you just have the same people doing the same things all the time. But if you keep having people that are doing well, like this is a competitive league, it's not easy to win and win consistently unless you're Joe Boring. But even Joe Boring like can't always win, right? Because there was always somebody that seemed like they were one step ahead of him, which we'll only bring up Joe Boring because he had, I don't even know how to describe his year. He's like didn't lose, somehow never lost the IWAR title and won literally every title you could win in one cycle. So
Yes.
that's ridiculous.
It was
but
amazing. But I do have a question for Ryan. How come you can't beat the Three Birds?
That's really funny. I was getting ready to see. I left one team out. I'm looking like through the standings, and I'm like, not they took the titles that we like bragged about the most. We got another shot at them. Like we literally came back after the year off to get those titles back. Got them, lost them right away to the Birds, and then we even won a contest to get back at them. And we didn't pull it off. Like this is,
You know how hard that is to do? Like that's insane.
like,
And that's why the Three Birds are like fantastic because you're throwing everything at them and they survive.
well, we got a shot this cycle, and we got
They do.
and not the regulators. We got a little Empire going, so maybe that's the change up we need. But I mean, those were my titles for. I mean, we bragged about, I don't know, 500 days, 600 days, whatever it was, and then they get a hold of them. I can't even get a picture of them anymore. they're just a total change in ownership, and they took us out a few times, and that's. So I just want to give.
And it's not just you; they've beaten everybody from Omega Squad for the Chase, the Chase brothers. They've beaten Revolution Extreme. Anyone that I put in front of them, they beat. And it's amazing, and it's like they done such a great job overall for the year, and they consistently TT and I wish they would use Mama Tun. I gave them a character, which is Prince Tun's mother, who is a 400-pound woman that loves Soul Train Jones. I kind of gave them that softball. Hopefully they do something with that in the future. But amazing job by the Three Birds, like so good, and
Yeah, this is just a run. I mean, they beat us. They beat the Savages. They beat RX. They beat us again. They've got the Graces. I mean, they're gonna have Empire this cycle. If they go through that, I got nothing. If you're gonna knock them all down like that.
When did they get a shot at the IWAR titles, man?
What's that? I missed that. Who's getting the shot?
When would the Three Birds get the shot at the IWAR titles?
Well, they had them for a while,
Yeah.
but I suppose if they win the next round. But Disembowelers right now, so
They're that's a fucking good team too.
actually no, Disembowelers lost, so it's going to be.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm not awake. They just lost, so it'll be this round coming up will determine the next contenders. So
Okay.
if they win, it'll be getting the shot.
All right, man. I dig that. So, guys, that is the IWL in a nutshell. Again, please do not forget that Soul Survivor will be coming cycle 136. So make sure you get your matches for your feuds. Make sure you're challenging people, so we get you on the show. If you want to do a match write-up, please contact me. We'll make sure we get that done. And the big thing is make sure you enter Soul Survivor. The winner gets a shot at the IWR World Heavyweight Championship, and they get a credit prize. So, again, if 30 people enter, they will be receiving $30 in IWA credit. So please, please, please keep that in mind. And don't forget to go back and read the pay-per-view. Lots of twists and turns. You see the return of Senor Lucha. You see the return of Mexican Gary Spivey now, which is ridiculous. You have the wedding, the match made in heaven or in hell, depending on where you look at it. So many cool things happen on the show. So again, please.
It was not a cool thing.
It was not. I agree. It was funny because it's the opposite. It's basically he was disguised as the chameleon. So you had a juxtaposition there. Although I'm under the impression if we ever pull off Senor Lucha's mask, his face will be blank. He will have no face, and he'll probably drop dead because that mask is magic. That's canon, folks. And don't forget that holograms are also canon now. So I'm looking for interesting ways to use that in the future, since we had Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan as our as announcers at the pay-per-view. So I thought that was a nice little touch. So. All right, fantastic. All right, up next, Conquest Wrestling League number 263. The league champion, Gentleman Loomis. TV champion, The Drifter, Jerry Nash. Central Plains champion, Scotty Flash. East Coast champion, The Desperado, Jan Nash. Great Lakes champion, Hazard. Mid-Atlantic champion, Toxic. Northeast champion, the Russophobian Russian, Olez Ozolov. Pacific Northwest champion, Disembowel Mongrel. Rocky Mountain champion, Elman Jarvis. Southeast champion, Mui Mao. Southwest champion, Duff Dugan. West Coast champion, the Hawaiian Heartthrob. The League Tag Team champion, Gentleman Jarvis and Lady Agnes. TV Tag Team champion, Axel Von Schnapp and Alex Von Schnapp. League Six-Man champions, the Russophobic Russian, Oled Ozolov and Yu Aiken. TV Six-Man champions, Axel Von Schnapp, Alex Von Schnapp, and Alec Von Schnapp. And your Battle Royal winner, winning 25 free CWL matches, Toxic. So, Matt, what's going down in the CWL?
Well, if it wasn't bad enough last year that Gentleman Jarvis dominated to win the rest of the year, Gentleman Loomis takes over and starts winning the league championship, so that's fun. Congrats to the Nash family for returning and having a good run as they return back to action. And I have this breaking news. Now, just mere weeks ago, we were given the horrible news that Wrestler with No Name, Alabaster, and the other one. I'm kidding. Unleavened Bread. The man with the toast mask, face mask. They were going to go to the Graveyard League and take time off from IWA. And then it's funny. I think I sent you guys the block from my screen capture. It's like 3 weeks later. When's the deadline? I'm coming back. Like, there it is. All right. So that it was funny because Larry and I had our little conference call like a couple days ago, and we were like, all right, well, he's not going to be around, so we got to change around some pay-per-view matchups, and now we got to change him back. So that's okay. But welcome back, Spencer, and we're happy to see you back in action. Sadly, Big Guns Greg and R not in action, and right now with the U.S. postal system, what it is. I always take any kind of inactivity with a grain of salt. I know the beer always had some inactives, and it was because of the postal system. So, if you can email matches in, do it. Other stuff going on. The Rock and Rolls were back in action after a long, long layoff. I don't know who manages them. So if you run them and you're listening, contact me. Pharmacist RX Pain was active and happy to keep attacking people. Just some Death came back in action, so it was good to see some guys returning to action.
Death.
Death, yes. Yeah, I think there's officially a rule that there has to be at least one Death wrestler in every third league in the game. Kind of like for a while there was all those rip off Roman Reigns, like 8 different spellings. the pay-per-view is coming up, and that is the Retro Rumble. And the Retro Rumble will feature a lot of big matchups. And we have a new one just got signed, and that is the Nash family taking on Carson Wingate, Cameron Cassidy, and Monster Truck Tanaka in a six-man match. We have a lot of action going on. I'm really happy with the results. The league's been growing, and now we just had a big spike in action. We went up by about 15 cards.
Nice.
So hopefully that keeps up. The Battle Royal is still about the same, about 4 more people in it. But we're happy with the results. Again, if you have ideas, questions, submissions you want to get in there, feel free to reach out to Larry or myself. Our information is in the IWAR. I also would ask, as we were ramping up for the show tonight, I took a look at the part 1 version of the this show with the awards, and I'd like to see some more comments. So feel free to comment, as always, in this show or any other show. We appreciate it. We like to, go back and belittle you for it, so it helps us.
Use the Amazon link.
And use the Amazon link, like I did, and I have.
Who bought the butt plug?
That I can't take credit for that one.
Luke.
And in a related
That's
story,
me.
I'm constipated. So yes,
your
football
little
action
helper once in a while.
is picking up, and as a special little preview, our next pay-per-view after Retro Rumble is in the summer, and it's called Lord of the Ring, and it's going to be a combination pay-per-view and finale to our first big CWL centric event where we're banging out the details, but it's going to be an event with a prize of a championship ring. So literally
Cock ring?
What kind of ring?
Yeah, I think it's a cock ring.
not that ring,
Oh.
but you could do it, I guess, if you had problems down there, but that's not the point. Because if you do that, you'll have more problems. The idea is we're going to give a nice little championship ring out, and hopefully he will enjoy it. So there's that. So that's the great CWL action. Oh, and I should mention too, before I forget, Vanessa Bell's disappearance has been solved. But the heroes, if they can win the match at Retro Rumble, will save her, and if they don't, she'll be thrown in a volcano. So
Okay, that's cool.
there it is.
Okay. So, Luke, you have anything for us TT wise?
I do. So Leo Rush in the Star Tribune. He's evidently a columnist for the Star Tribune. So
Oh, that makes sense.
good on Leo Rush. You always got to have a backup plan. So Hawaiian Heartthrob is showing up here in the CWL. He was drafted there. So he said his goodbyes to the NWL, and he is making a name for himself. He's the long-awaited appearance in the CWL. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure everybody in the CWL is excited to see their number 1 draft pick show up. Muli Mall, she always does a good job. So she's getting ready to fight Cameron Cassidy. So their feud is starting. And then Carson Wingate and Cameron Cassidy are both really weird, like normal, and creepy. They're almost like Raven vignettes. But yeah, so read up on that. And then Olev Ozarov, the Russophobic Russian. Always funny. He's talking shit about Timothy Zapopowski. And then also there are his guards. And then you have G3, Jarvis, Angus, and Loomis. And I mean, they had a great year last year, especially Gentleman Jarvis. So it's pretty crazy now how good of a year they had, especially towards the end. They just showed up and took over. So good on them. And then Duff Dugan, he's running away in his orange Bronco.
Oh,
He's very scared. So something about TikTok. I don't know what that's all about. Kids these days.
Chinese-owned company, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's okay. The pharmacist RX Payne, like Matt said, even though Greg Gnar might not be here, RX Payne can hurt people by himself, and he's definitely doing that. And then let's see. Yeah, that's about it. So, good job in the CWL. There's a lot going on, and with Hawaiian Heartthrob coming in, everybody's setting it up to be a good new year. So,
all right, I dig that. Next up, Bloodbath League number 493, league champion winning another 10 free matches, Matt Jackson. TV champion, Rondo Pondo. Central Plains champion, Bulk Slogan. East Coast champion, Bembe Basso. Great Lakes champion, the bad boy from BC, Blake Condra. Mid-Atlantic champion, Vicious, Timothy Clark. Northeast champion, Big Money, Graham Stambridge. Pacific Northwest champion, Litigation. Rocky Mountain champion, Huck. Southeast champion, Joe Exotic, the king of the Tigers. Southwest champion, the one and only Noah Phoenix. West Coast champion, Corporal Punishment. League tag team champions winning 5 free matches, the White Claw Outlaws. TV tag team champions, the Phantom Striker and Wildman Joe Brody. League champion, Mr. Smith, Corporal Punishment, and Pork Rind. TV six-man champion, Rusty Riggs, Jax Justice, and Big Money Graham Stembridge. And your Battle Royal winner, Litigation. So, Matt, what's going down in the BBL?
Actually, I'll tell you the big thing in the BBL that's going on that I'm personally invested in would, of course, be the Von Erich Classic. That is the premier big event in the BBL, and it's really driving a lot of results and eyes to that. Eyes to that league. I know that there's a coming pay-per-view, and what's interesting is that 2 of the UVU championships could be held by someone outside of the BBL. Right now, the UVU tag champs are the Disembowelers, who are in the CWL. That's right, the same ones originally won the IWAR tag team titles, and that moved to the CWL. And Barry Stevens will face his hated enemy, Hasbro, the legend. A man who believes in plastic toys that upsets Barry to no end. But
does he believe in plastic women, though? Because I do.
Well, real dolls are real things, right? So there's a lot going on. And, of course, we have some feuds building. But the pay-per-view for the next pay-per-view was pushed back, so it'll be falling right on the 500th cycle, which is rapidly coming up. So that's going to be a big thing. The Von Erich Classic, I haven't seen the latest results. Actually, I'm sorry. The last time I saw the results, the Von Snaps were stolen first, so I will brag about that because they're barely in first place, and that's barely enough for me to go. Yay. There is a tournament to determine the BBL's Women's UVU Championship. So that'll be a new title. There's a lot of women in the BBL now, so that's good to see that competitively. And also, we're trying to help grow the ladies division, so that's always a big part of it. I will also mention that Night Robin, who was a star in the NWL for quite some time, has finally made an appearance. He was one of those guys that, like we always say, you don't have to enter the draft, but you can if you want. And he wanted to go solo, so he went and joined the BBL on his own. And as I tell everyone, when you're in the rookie league, check out places you want to play. And he did. He wanted to go to the BBL. So good to see the BBL also growing as a roster. I did on the award show. I talked about kind of league growth year to year and how it's expanded. So all of the leagues now are doing better than they were a year ago. So let's keep that going. How's that?
Yeah, man, I dig that. And Luke, what do you got for us TT-wise?
Well, we see Night Robin showing up, making his debut. So that's cool to see. Like Matt said, he didn't get drafted. He chose to come here. So this is where he wants to be. So we'll see how he does. We had Huck, Bimbe, and Chuck. I don't know why I like this, but it's just simple and stupid. Like I can imagine that guy saying that thing, like that. Oh yeah, Bimbe. I don't know why, but I can just imagine him saying that. I don't know. Maybe it's the presentation. It looks nice though. Then we had Bulk Slogan. I did not translate any of that German, but I just want you guys.
I thought you were fluent. What happened?
In German. So I mean, now you can translate it, but good on him for going through and writing in German. He even used proper German linguistic devices. So that's fun to type, I'm sure. But yeah, so that was cool. I like that. And Bulk Slogan is ridiculous. The Mysterious Benefactor. I mean, he's still mysterious, but I thought he wrestled, so I don't know how. And I don't know who he benefits. All right, so yeah, but that's pretty much all I got for the BBL.
Up next, Battle Royal League, number 561. The league champion, the Russian Knifemare, Nikolai Chakapakov. TV champion, Wolf. Central Plains champion, Tyler Dresden. Nice. East Coast champion, Money Driven Mike Sebastian. Great Lakes champion, Hate Clown. Mid-Atlantic champion, Crusher Vicious. Northeast champion, the Dungeon Master, Sheldon Schrute. Pacific Northwest champion, the Left Fist, Eli Shabazz. Rocky Mountain champion, the Author of Agony, LePage Turner. Southeast champion, Mr. Disrespect, Quentin Cisco. Southwest champion, Worst of the Worst, Simon Dresnott. West Coast champion, Chief Running Water. League Tag Team champion, El Barbaro and El Dragon de Oro. TV Tag Team champions, Eric the Eliminator Endgame and Emily Endgame. The League Six-Man champions, Lord Regal, Martel the Model, and Azoff Diggler. TV Six-Man champions, Amin, El Barbaro, and El Dragon de Oro. And your Battle Royal winner, winning $50 in IWA credit, Tyler Dresden. So, Matt, what's going down in the BRL?
Oh, there's a lot going on, and I would first like to welcome to the BRL creative team Darren Sones, because he joined up. I've been asking people to help, and those of you that may notice either the NWL report and the BRL report to a degree, I'm trying to make them easier to digest, streamlined, just an easier read. So having Darren on board would be a great help, and I appreciate it. You'll see.
And he's a handsome man as well.
That too, yes. And he will be showing his first work in this coming issue. So please be sure to keep an eye out for that. We have a lot going on. One of the big announcements I made was as part of the cutting back, I went from 6 pay-per-views a year to 4. So the 4 biggies of WrestleRama, Magic Bash, Autumn Anarchy, and Battlecade stay in place. But we've folded the Royal Rumble into WrestleRama, and the Money in the Bank match folds into a Magic Bash. So right now, Punk Rock Mike will be facing Fatty the Butcher at WrestleRama, and the Alos Express, even though there's rumors of them breaking up and having problems and dissension, will be defending against Bill Bagwell and Ruthless Donnie, who I always want to call Toothless Donnie. I don't know why. It just always pops in my head. And then the Global Six-Man champs, Lord Regal, Zolf Diggler, and Martel the Model will face Frank Snow and Duke Nukem and Dark Phoenix FS. Now, one thing we've had is we now have a women's champion for the Global again, and Jane Red is a champion. She'll defend against Lavender Fields. And I do want to say we hit a snag with one of our contest snags, and that is we have the Money in the Bank. Now, the Money in the Bank is like the real Money in the Bank, where the champion or the person holds it can challenge any champion. Well, the problem we had is the guy who won the Money in the Bank won the Global Championship shortly thereafter and has held it. And I think I'm going to initiate a rule that if you win the championship, it re-vacates the belt or the briefcase, because it just sits there unused and it really doesn't do anything. And it's just
like my penis.
Possibly. I can get you a ring. Anyways, if you win the CWL Lord of the Ring, who knows? But I will mention that we're trying to find ways to make the game more exciting in the BRL, and that's a part of it. Is we're trying to always repair things we make a mistake on and fix them. What we're doing now is that when we rank our contenders, it's going to be ranked by player. So everybody, the very first cycle, if you're active and you promo, you get ranked. Your top wrestler gets ranked if they promote. And that way you might see someone who says, oh, well, that guy has the top-ranked guy, but he's one of his six-man scrubs he doesn't really TT with. Well, I'm not going to put that wrestler into the mix for a title shot when we're a storytelling league. I do want to mention that the BRL Triple Crown Challenge, which is a challenge for a wrestler to win both the league, tag team, and six-man championships all in the same cycle, is still ongoing. And the last one by Punk Rock Mike in 2017. Before that, it wasn't won until 2004. So it's been a long time, a hard thing. And the current prize pool stands at 240 matches. So there's a reason to sign a match against every champion and keep yourself in the mix. I mentioned last time on the show where I had sort of what shall I say? What would you say? I vented a little bit about
did.
the best of 7 series.
Did.
Yeah, well, I had to. I haven't heard back from said player, but what happened, as a recap, a player who was upset with the mail system blamed his bad strategy on the mail system, and he wanted to replay the 7th match. Well, just so you all know, spoiler alert, we considered this match results this last time, and he still lost the 7th match of the series again. But we, on the word of Punk Rock Mike, who was the Revolution champion, said, well, you know what? Put him in the championship match anyways. So we did. It was a triple threat, and money-driven Mike Sebastian defeated Punk Rock Mike to become the new Revolution champion. So that's how that played out. I am doing a lot of tweaking and revamping of the division pictures. So if you have a tag team, a 6-man, or a wrestler who want on those pages, drop me a line, get involved. As I always say, you make the game fun. So if you don't send anything in, you got less to work with. So I will now throw it to Luke for his thoughts.
So I was just thinking, we talked about how Senior Lucha doesn't have a face under his mask.
No.
I think that he's actually a Ken doll, and he just has nothing. Like he's just got nothing. You can't even remove his mask. It's just on there. But anyway, so the TT, I liked Mascara Negro. He's really creepy and he scares me. So he's like the Senior Lucha of Ghostly Shadows or something. I don't know, but he's very scary and very scary all the time. So there's that. He's getting their fight. Who are they? They're going against the other mask guys. Is that what you're trying to do again? Are they ever going to stop? Like, is that ever going to end?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. All right. I just wondered. I thought how many times have these guys need to stop fighting? Chris Champion is calling out TNT. He's calling out who else did he call it? Oh, Jimmy North. So Chris Champion's trying to get his year started right. So Chris Champion.
Can you start teaming with Firebreaker Chip yet?
Firebreaker Chip.
Oh. True.
Jimmy North is taking up Chris Champion on his challenge. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Maybe Chris Champion is gonna be in trouble because he's calling everybody out, and if everybody accepts, he might have a little more than he can handle. We'll have to see how that goes. And then we have the Regulators they're making an appearance in the BRL. That's right, the Regulators. That is, let's see, Blackjack Robertson, Shotgun, Jesse Tombstone, and Blackjack Robertson. Did I say that? It's Shotgun Tombstone, Blackjack Robertson, and Texas Jesse Tombstone. All right, sorry.
There you go.
Thank you. And then, but yeah, so it's good to see the Regulators. You don't know who the Regulators are, then you suck. I mean, that's just it. But you should be reading the IWL. But the Regulators are a force to be reckoned with. So we'll see how that happens here in the BRL.
Well,
Barbed wire.
Exactly how it happens. That was just a one cycle, just to face off against the IWAR 6-man champions to set something up. So that match already happened. So they will not be in there the next cycle.
What happened in that match, Ryan?
Man, I mean, I'm not one to toot my own horn, as people would say, but I kind of think we won those belts.
So what you're saying is, once again, the IWL takes an IWAR title from somebody else. So I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but the IWL just somehow always gets those titles. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know what it is about the IWL, but we just keep winning. So just be aware of that. So I see that the Regulators could only take one cycle in the BRL because, when you're slumming it, like if you go and you stop at a bad hotel, like you can stay the night, but you don't want to stay there very long.
Or picking up a chick from the bus station.
Yeah, you get what you get, and then you got to go back. You got to go back uptown. You know what I'm saying?
Wash your dick in the sink.
Yeah, so you got to go to the doctor, get your bore punched, what have you.
Penicillin is your friend.
But the Regulators, they did what they had to do. So,
They showed up, made their point, took the titles, we're out of there.
Yeah, that's how that works. You don't want to stay down at state. you don't want to stay on that side of town too long. You know what I'm saying? Sheldon Schrute, evidently, Agent 26 is really getting under his skin. He messed with his dice, and if you know anything about the Dungeon Master, the dice that's more than that's more than what you might think it is. So there's certain things that you don't do, and that's one of them. So he's very, very upset about what happened with that. And then also we have the Dreznocks. So Roderick Hughes and Eli Shabazz were trying to escape the wrath of the Dreznocks by being not re-signing with the BRL. But unfortunately, the Dreznocks took it upon themselves to ensure that he signed back. So read that, TT. It's pretty interesting, pretty fun. Little romp there. Yeah, so BRL always has good TT. Those are just some of the highlights or lowlights, depending on how you feel. But at the end of the day, good TT. I just wanted to point out the regs were in there. That was awesome. But yeah, good job. Like I said, there are a lot of feuds going on. Everything's getting ready for the new year. And again, good on Chris Champion. He's trying to start the new year and make some exciting stuff and stir the pot. So Jimmy North definitely bit. So we'll see who all he's gonna have to face this year. So that's all I got.
Yeah, man, I dig that. All right, fantastic. Next up, NWL New Wave League number 160, League Champion The Matrix, TV Champion Wildfire Dan Van Love, Central Plains Champion Yoko Tuna, East Coast Champion Mr. Too Sexy John Van Love, Great Lakes Champion Halloween Man, Midland Champion The Black Scorpion, Northeast Champion A Person, Pacific Northwest Champion Dan the Beast Sovereign, Rocky Mountain Champion The Red Scorpion, Southeast Champion Chong number 6, or Chong VI, or maybe it's Chong V. What do you think? Is that Roman numerals? What are we thinking, guys?
Chong 6. No,
Chong 6. It's not Chong V. It could be Chong V.
Chong V.
I'm going with Chong 6. Sounds
works.
better. The Southwest Champion Flashy Jack Ferdinand, the West Coast Champion Sister Abigail, the League Tag Team Champions D Honda and Yoko Tuna, TV Tag Team Champions Wildfire Dan Van Love and Mr. Too Sexy John Van Love, League Six-Man Champion Chong 6 D Honda and Yoko Tuna, TV Six-Man Champions Wildfire Dan Van Love, Spider Williams and Dan the Beast Sovereign, and your Battle Royal winner Wildfire Dan Van Love. So Matt, what's going down in the NWL?
Well, there's a lot going down, and I will mention first that the Willowick Classic will be in this next issue coming out. So stay tuned for that and see who wins the Willowick Classic and ends up being the third member of the Young Lions Triple Threat match. We will have again, like the BRL, we'll have a retracted schedule, so not as many clashes through the year, but in a way it's good because it gives more time to build up each one. The other things going on, we have, of course, I mentioned on, actually I didn't mention here, it was the last show. I'm not tired. I mentioned on the strategy workshop that the All Rookie Cup and the second annual Bad Company Cup will both be starting on Stone Cold Day 3/16. So those events are both free. So they'll be stocked with wrestlers that are A, active, B, promo, and C, will be around for majority of the tournament. If a wrestler leaves during the tournament and they're still active, we will just take their score out of their new league. So that's how that'll work. And again, to be in these tournaments, be active, promo. We're about storytelling. We promote that. So, and again, if you don't like storytelling type play, that's fine. We just had some people in the... but I mentioned before how streamlining. So you'll notice if you look at the bulletin, you'll see the Welcome Rookies page, which will be getting a new look soon. But the New Wave Report, I'm happy to announce I have someone who has been submitting information to me to get this done. So I have some help in the NWL as well. It's great, fantastic, great addition. We appreciate it. If you are curious about doing better in the NWL, there's a page called Willie Penham's Strategy Corner with senior official Willie Penham. And that is a strategy that I suggest you try as a way to expand your success rate. So if you're sitting there going, boy, I've tried X, Y, and Z and nothing seems to work, watch the How to Win That Way Tubecast, join the strategy workshop, and as always, ask the veteran players. They're happy to help.
26-27.
That as well. Yep, you can do that too. I will now turn over the commentary on the trash talk to our expert.
So we talked about a little CWL, but Hawaiian Heartthrob left the NWL. So he was he said his goodbyes in his final TTE. So you should definitely read up on that. Also, Spider Williams has made a splash. So read up on his TT. And then we can't talk about Spider Williams without talking about Flashy Jack. So Flashy Jack, and he now has some mannequins to provide him backup. But he's definitely going after Spider Williams. So I really feel like they're on a collision course. So there's a few people coming in, new year, people coming and going. So we look forward to, seeing where the NWO goes from here, and, the people that are going to kind of boil up to the top for the draft and everything going forward for the next year. So I'm sure Matt's excited for that. I know I am. So, yeah, that's all I got from the NWL.
Yeah, man. I dig that.
I
So,
will,
Matt, since
I will
go
add one
ahead.
thing on NWL. I just want to say that I'm really proud of Spider Williams' progression. And Mr. 305 came back and then went inactive, so I'm hoping it's a male issue. But again, for those that want awards, thank you. And if you're looking towards next year, then put the work in and show us what you got.
Yeah, man, I dig that. All right, guys, so we are officially out of time. So for Matt Riley, for Luke Martin, for Ryan Patrick, I'm Alex G. Have a good night.